important question for you. What do you do when life throws you a curve and you're not sure how to handle it? What do you do when something happens over the course of your daily schedule and you get thrown for a loop and you're not sure what the appropriate or right response is? Is there something that you can do every single time that'll get you to that point where you feel peace in your heart and you feel like you can take that step, make that decision in a right way that's going to produce the result that you would like for it to and that you would hope that it would? I believe that there's one thing that you can do every single time you get thrown a curve and you're not sure how to handle a situation that'll get you where you want. I can remember when I was a young guy in college, just out of high school. I had just started dating my wife Bonnie, and I had decided that to really try to impress her, I was going to take her on a date. I was living in Charleston, so we were going to go downtown Charleston, try to find a restaurant that I thought that she would like, and really impress this girl. And so we were heading downtown Charleston. Now there was one flaw in my plan, and that flaw was this: I was broke. I didn't have very much money at all. So at some point on that drive downtown, I managed in some awkward way, I'm sure, to explain to her that we were going to go downtown and we were going to have a whole lot of fun, but it was going to be on a shoestring budget because I was financially challenged at that point. Well, we were going to go eat somewhere. And so I had said to her in whatever way I said, I can't remember exactly how I expressed that to her, but I did. And so she looked at me and she had the answer. She said, "That's no problem at all. We'll go Dutch." And she smiled at me with this very warm smile, settled back into her chair as if, well, that's no problem whatsoever. But on the inside of my heart, the tension began to rise because I did not know the phrase, "let's go Dutch." It was something that I was completely unfamiliar with. And so I'm thinking to myself as we drive down this road, I don't know where any Dutch restaurants are downtown Charleston. This girl likes Dutch food. I've never eaten Dutch food before. She may have a favorite Dutch restaurant that I don't even know how to find it. How do I explain to this girl that I don't know where a Dutch restaurant is downtown Charleston? I don't know how much it costs to eat at a Dutch restaurant. It could be more expensive than it would have been at the restaurant I was planning to go to. How does that solve my problem? And so as we near downtown Charleston, I look at her very nervously and I say, do you have a favorite Dutch restaurant that you'd like to go to? And she looks at me with this mix of humor and horror, and she says, "What are you talking about?" And I explained to her that I didn't know where any Dutch restaurants were, and I didn't know if I would even be able to afford to eat at a Dutch restaurant with her because I just explained to her that I was broke. And she explained to me that the phrase "going Dutch" simply means that one person pay for theirs and the other person pay for their share of the meal, and so that would take the financial burden off of it. And I thought, well, that does help out a lot. But I had experienced a drive for probably 25 minutes where I was just sweating, thinking, how do I resolve this situation with this girl who would eventually become my wife? Because I didn't understand what she had said. And so I was stressing out on the inside. But do you know what would have solved that problem? What would have resolved that 25-minute drive of anxiety that I experienced would have been if I had simply said to her, "Can you tell me what you mean? Because I'm not sure what you mean. Can we talk about this? Can we communicate about this? Because is Dutch food cheaper than American food? Because I don't know." If I had simply communicated the fact that I was confused and in over my head, didn't know exactly how I was supposed to handle it, it would have been a much smoother ride for me on my part. The same is true in our relationship with God. This is from the book of James, chapter 1, it's verse 5, and it says this: "But if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all generously and without reproach. It'll be given to him." The scriptures tell us that if there are moments in our lives when we don't know the answer to the questions and problems and issues that life throws our way, that we really only need to do one thing. We don't need to stress out. We don't need to be anxious. We don't need to try to solve the problem on our own. We just simply need to take it to God. We need to communicate with Him. We need to say, "God, I don't know the answer to this question. I don't know what the appropriate resolution is to this concern that I'm experiencing. The scriptures tell us that if we lack wisdom and we go to God and we ask God, that He'll give it to us generously every single time. He won't fuss at us, chastise us, or blame us for not knowing the answer in the first place, because God wants to be that place that we go every single time we have a need that we can't meet ourselves. Because that's really what the gospel is. That's really what the gospel says to our hearts. You have a problem that you can't solve. You have a need that you can't meet, but I can, and I will. And all you have to do is turn to me. And if you turn to me, I'll solve it. I'll meet that need. I'll be the answer to your question every single time.